We're joined now by UC Santa Barbara coach Joe Pasternack. Coach, if you would please start us off with an opening comment, and we'll take questions afterwards.
Yeah, I thought our guys really battled to the bitter end tonight, no matter what the circumstances were, and really fought. Unfortunately, our Achilles heel all year has been defense and rebounding. And tonight, really in the overtime, they shot 50%, but overall 46% and won the rebounding war. And that ultimately got us tonight. But I thought our team really battled and fought very hard.
Any questions?
Victor Bryant, Santa Barbara Independent. Coach, what was it like for you managing those rotations with, a lot of guys going down with injuries in and out tonight and trying to, work through that as a group?
It's been kind of like a season deal with us. But this is on me. This is 100% on me. I take full responsibility. We finished 16 and 15. The expectations for this basketball program are higher. It's to compete for championships. We didn't do that, and nobody has higher standards than me. And, the injuries, they're part of the game. And that's just part of it, and can't control that. And, what happened tonight was just kind of a microcosm of what we've had happen all year.
Hey, Coach. Carson Mercier, KCSB Sports. Just one question for you. It was the first time you really saw your team struggle here at UC Santa Barbara. You guys finished under 500 for the first time under you as head coach. What would you say you learned as a head coach throughout this season? Yeah, we were 16 and 15, and in the last 7 years, we have the most wins in the history of this school over the last 7 years. But we were 16 and 15, and, learned a lot. We lost out of last year's the most wins in the history of the school, 27, four fifth-year seniors, Miles Norris, Andre Kelly, Calvin Wissert, Ajari Sani. And we played this year in our front line and every other place besides AJ and Josh, a very inexperienced. We were playing guys that have never played college basketball before, any minutes, 0 minutes, or few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes a game. And in college basketball, you got to get old and stay old. That's the bottom line. And that's on me. As we evaluate the entire program, with the way college basketball is now, you have to live year by year. There's no more time, developing over a long period of time because of the transfer portal, because of NIL. Guys can come and go. You have to have experience, old guys that have produced. And, it was a great learning experience for not only me, but our players. Guys like Ariel Bland, he never played college basketball before. Johan got a lot of minutes this year, never really played college basketball before. Jason Fontenette was a freshman. Killian Brokoff, a freshman. Ben Stolzberg never played college basketball before at Creighton. Mattia Belic played very little. Evans very little. And so we did have A.J. Mitchell and Josh Pierre-Louis, two older guys. Cole Anderson played about 20 minutes a game last year. He was in a different seat of the bus this year as a starter. But, that would be the biggest learning experience for me, is to never deviate. And our teams, whether it was our year one team, we had Marcus Jackson, fifth-year senior. We had Gabe Vincent. We had Leland King, fifth-year grad transfer. Jalen Canty, senior, And so you have to get old and stay old in college basketball. And that's very, you say like defense. Well, you need experience to learn how to play defense, man-to-man defense especially. And so these guys really gained a lot of experience at a very young level. Jason Fontenette played a lot of minutes this year as a freshman and gained a lot of experience, had 9 rebounds tonight. So that would be the biggest thing that I learned.
Mike Clan, ABC Santa Barbara. Coach, you kind of alluded to it, but defensively, I mean, from the first game, Portland State came in there, and I was like, wow, this does not look like a Joe Pasternack's defensive unit. Why was it so hard to get that fixed all year?
You know, Mike, I would go back to when you've never played the pace of college basketball, a game. You can practice all you want, but Ariel Bland, Johan Traore, they're doing the best they can, man. They're playing hard. Jason Fontenette's a freshman. They never play. They don't, you know, in high school, it's not like that. Killian Brokoff, Ben Stolzberg, those two guys were playing. Besides experience, you need depth. And, you know, Ben and Killian had 5-month injuries, and they came back, and I call it cheating the process. It's not their fault, but they had 0 practices. They were just thrown into the mix. Like, in late December after the LMU game, and they had no practices, so they didn't get to learn the fundamentals of our drills, and it doesn't work like that. It's not going to work like that. And so I go back to that. It's unacceptable, and we have to – now they're a year older. Jason Fontenette, a year older. He's had a whole year to learn how to play defense, how to rebound, how to – offense, just all kinds of things that you have to have. And when you have an inexperienced group, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Coach Derek Clark, KCSB Sports. You mentioned sort of the difficulties in replacing some of your old guys. Obviously, this year, Josh is not going to be here anymore. And we're not sure about AJ, but we assume he may not be here anymore. Just can you talk a little bit about what those two guys have meant to the program, specifically Josh coming back for that 5th year? A lot of us didn't think he would be back, but just the value of those two guys that have meant to the program.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Pierre-Louis, I don't have the stats. Kristen Wood, I think he's one of the winningest players in the history of the school. You know, and I know a lot of people are like, wow, 16 and 15. Like, we had the most wins in the history of the school over 7 years. This program has only had a 7-year winning record one other time in the history of the school. And Josh Pierre-Louis is one of the winningest players. 2 NCAA tournaments in 3 years. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do in a single bid league. AJ Mitchell, we'll get with his family and figure out kind of what his plans are. But AJ Mitchell is the toughest, mentally toughest, and physically toughest kid I've ever coached. I've coached a lot of NBA lottery picks, one and dones. What he went through this year is unbelievable. What he persevered through with his injuries, unbelievable. And nothing serious, by the way, ankles or whatever. But he fought through unbelievable adversity before the very first game. Didn't play in the first 2 games. And it was a never-ending cycle. And tonight was a microcosm of it all. But he battles, he makes no excuses, and I think he's as good of a player as I've ever coached. So, both of those guys were terrific.
Coach Gabriel Duarte, Daily Sundial. What did you make of the way the Matadors defended A.J. Mitchell down the stretch towards around like the later parts of the second half and going into the overtime period as well?
Like all teams, very physical. Every team was very physical with him this year and last year and the year before. I mean, he had 36 points and 9 rebounds and 5 assists. 11 of 12 from the free throw line, 5 of 12, 10 of 21. I mean, kid's a stud. And he's as good of a player, like I said, the toughest mental and physical player I've ever coached.
Vincent Vanderpool, KCSB Sports. Coach, a lot of foul trouble from key players, especially down the stretch. What adjustments and what was kind of your mindset trying to coach and play around that, especially in the biggest game of the year?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't control fouls or whatever. I think we had 3 guys foul out. We had to keep subbing guys in and out. And I think our guys just kept fighting and got it. We were down 3 or 4 and got it to overtime. And guys fought really, really hard. And we had to just sub guys in and out to deal with the foul trouble.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.